Hello, this is TCG. This CTF is called Vikings. Let's get started with the enumeration by using a net discover to check the IP address of the machine. Now we're going to run an nmap on this particular IP address in order to check any ports that are open on this machine. There are two ports open on the machine. The first one is an SSH port at 22, and the second one is an Apache web server. Let's check it out the website. This website doesn't seem to have anything for us, and even if we view the page source and go through all the comments and the code, there is nothing here. So we're going to run a directory busting using dirbuster. Here I'm using the directory list23 medium.txt file along with the extensions php, txt and zip. One second. Dirbuster has found a particular site called site/war.txt, and this one has what seems to be another directory. Let's check it out what this directory has. And we are greeted with a huge text file which seems to be encoded in base 64. What we're going to do is we're going to copy this, we're going to curl this, and what we're going to decode this from base 64, and we're going to save this into a file called op. Now that we're done, if we use the file command on this particular file that has been decoded, we see that this is zip archive data. Now if I open up that particular file, we don't get anything, and if I try to extract this into this location, it asks for password and we don't have the password. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the zip2john utility in order to extract the password hash. And now that we have extracted the password hash, we're going to use John the Ripper in order to get that, in order to brute force all the passwords from the rocku file in order to get our password. And now that the session is complete, we can just use John show hash, and the password is Ragnarok123. Now going back to our file folder, if now I extract this here and use the password Ragnarok123, it gives us an image, this one called the king. Now this image in itself doesn't have anything special for it, but let's see what information that we can extract from this. The very first thing that comes to mind is using steganography to see if there are any hidden files onto the thing. But it turns out that steg-c could not find a valid catchphrase. So the next thing we can do is we can check the metadata of the image, and we're gonna do that using the exif tool. And looking over through this metadata, there isn't any information that we can use directly. Which is why lastly, we're gonna check for any embedded files in the image, and we're gonna do that using the binwalk command. There seems to be a file in this particular image, and if we just go to this folder created by binwalk, we have a file named user, and this file has this particular text, and from which I can see that there's a famous board builder by the name of Floki. At Vikings may suggest that this is done on the Vikings machine. So Floki or famous board builder Floki may be our username for the SSH, and this may be our password for the very same. Now if I do an SSH here and I use this password, we are now logged into the machine. Pinwalk has extracted a file onto this folder. This particular one, which is underscore king.extracted. Now, if I go to this folder, we have two things: a zip file and a user file. Let's see what the user file has for us. So this particular name at Vikings may refer to the machine. That means either famous board builder Floki or Floki is a username for the SSH, and the second text may be the password for the same. Now let's try the SSH. If I try famous for board builder Floki and then use this password, it doesn't work. But if I try just Floki and then use this password, we're inside the machine. Now what we're going to try and do is first look for any SQID permissions and files, and it turns out that this particular machine is using Polkit. Now Polkit is very famous for the vulnerability 3560 and 2021 4034. In this case, I'm going to use the CVE 2021 4034 vulnerability. The first thing I'm going to check if this machine has GCC if I want to compile C files, and turns out it does. So I'm gonna first go to the home directory, the base directory, and for them I'm gonna go to the temp folder. Now I'm gonna create a file, cve.c, and paste the code. Finally, my mistake. And we finally have root access to the machine. There we go. For the other key, we can just go back to home and Ragnar, and here we have the other key. That's it. Thank you for watching.